Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I put up something on my community post that said, you'll like Mountain Man too. So we'll see who can figure that one out. But anyway, it's been a full day and almost 2 days after the big day. And we've got a lot of stuff going on. Hi, Lori. Hi, Bubba. But I tell you, don't you all notice how that media is playing it up where they don't want to give anybody any cause to celebrate anything? That's what this is all about. But if you'll notice in my title, Brian R., how you doing? It says, danger ahead. Loss of control equals desperation. Why do I say that? I had a lively conversation with Red this morning. And I said, we've won the House. Nancy's gone. And he felt that there was still something up in the air and that everybody would be celebrating in the streets if Nancy was gone. Well, that is the whole. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Philo. Hi, Georgia. How you doing, Georgia? That is the whole point of the media push to blunt the enthusiasm. And as I said in one of my broadcasts, I can't remember, I said that, how you doing, Run VS? Sharon, how you doing, Sharon Mercier? How you? But the media has got a coordinated narrative going out there to blunt the enthusiasm for what happened. Now, I'm sure you all can follow along with me, so without me putting pictures up in this venue, but Mr. T put up a post that last night on Truth Social. Hello, Greg Kibble, how you doing? Haha, Mountain Man too. Now, see, you figured it out. Everybody here figured it out. Hi, Nikki B, how you doing, honey? Everybody figured it out. When I put on thing, I like Mountain Man too. Some people say, well, what's the second channel? What's the second channel? Oh, gee. Come on now. I like Mountain Man too. TOO. Anyway, after Robert's experience, and a lot of you in the chats know what I'm talking about with his channels getting taken down, you got to be a little bit slick, and people got to use their minds a little bit. So anyway, I want to welcome my new subscribers on this channel, and that's what Mountain Man says there too. So anyway, I got an unsolicited news alert on my phone from CNN. Oh, really? Did you, Mountain Man? Yes, I did. I clicked on it, like, it's like sour milk. You know it's sour, but you still got to open the top and smell it. But it says an example or showing how the king has no clothes. Talking about Trump, acting like he's got no power, that this was a big flop. There was no red wave. And when like Trump put out in his post, I got off that subject, 200, what was it, 219, I think, to 16, 219 wins. Okay? Hi, Lori. Just saw on Truth Social, Jack Posobiec's page, Maricopa County Sheriff's hauled. Can you let me see if I can check that, because I got Jack Posobiec too. Maybe he's got a channel, Jack Posobiec 2 TOO. Ha ha ha. Let me see. He hauled. What do you mean there, honey? Oh, hauled off someone from the county tabulations there. I heard. Well, Maricopa County Sheriff, if you all will remember who was sheriff before him in Maricopa County. And it doesn't seem important to some people because they don't know. why it's important. I'm looking to see if somebody comes up with it. But this sheriff won because he had a pile of money from a non-governmental organization, NGO, and that money was from Georgie Porgy Sorioso. And the sheriff before him was Joe Arpaio. There were snipers on the buildings in Arizona. Why? Well, everybody, there's two media narratives that are prominent that Trumpers are violent and got to watch out for them. And there was no big red wave, and it was a big flop. And Trump is no good. And then the third narrative is that him and DeSantis are at odds. Well, I would say 2 out of 3 of those are lies, but I won't say that because 3 out of 3 of those are lies. Okay. But anyway, Joe Arpaio, he was taken out by big money from Georgie Porgy Sorioso, and that person answers to people that don't like MAGA. Okay, so they hauled somebody off, claiming, I heard on Charlie Kirk's show, they were hauling people off for trying to see what's going on, asking why things are taking so long. Now, I was watching Charlie Kirk, but the point of the matter is, before I get into details about the election, I want everybody to keep in mind danger zone. The danger zone. Whatever happens in Arizona, it is very important, and I feel they've got a handle on it. But something they can't undo. They can't find ballots in a gymnasium. They can't find them in the trunk of somebody's car. The House is lost. Nancy is gone. As I discussed with Red and put up in my broadcast, a ticket to the impeachment of Andrew Johnson in 1868. The sole power of impeachment lies with the House. That's in the Constitution. So the Dems have been stripped. Let's just say they can't take another shot at Trump. They already took 2. So that's over with. Second thing is, now who can call the shots? They've lost control of the House. There's a window of time before they actually have to turn over the keys, and that is, in my mind, a danger zone. Okay? Desperation. What do people do when they're desperate? Always remember that story I told you all in one of my early broadcasts that Putin was telling when he was a 9-year-old boy, and he lived in a house with 3 different families, a community house, which is what the communists made everyone do. If you have a big, beautiful house, and people like Fetterman have their way, they can do like the Bolsheviks decided and say, you have enough room for 3 more families. So you guys go over there in the master bedroom, your whole family, and we got these other 3 families coming to your home. And that's the way people in the Soviet Union lived for 70 years. And when he was 9 years old, he trapped a rat in this filthy house because nobody would clean. If you've ever been in a college situation where people shared bathrooms and responsibilities, shared the kitchen, it was, nobody would clean. You might have got somebody that would come do it. How you doing, Red? Oh, you did? You, you Red, I didn't know that. I'll let you all read Red Chat. I won't read it out loud. Yes, Brett S. How you doing? He trapped a rat at the bottom of the steps. He was 9 years old, and he thought, well, I trapped him. Now what? He's a kid. Well, he'll never forget that he chased that rat and chased that rat. He finally trapped it. What did it do? It turned and attacked him. And he got a little spooked. He's a kid. The rat jumped over the rail and got away. And he never forgot that. When you got them trapped, go ahead and take care of them. But they're dangerous when they're trapped. So this is going to have to be a very well thought out process by the House. Who do we start looking at first? Because the goal is not vengeance, that's why I said Trump is not going to become Speaker of the House. People have to think about this in a way. We've got two goals. We want to rid this country of corruption. That's the main goal. And the second thing is unify this country. Whoever's going to be Speaker of the House is going to be responsible for overseeing a lot of investigative committees, a lot of public disclosures that can be very embarrassing to a lot of people, and also impeachments and criminal referrals, like what Rand Paul did with Dr. Fauci. So that is going to be a leg-breaking job. It's going to be somebody's going to come in there, smacking the ruler in the palm of their hand and looking over the classroom and wants things to go the way they want it to go. And Trump doesn't need to first of all go in a lower position than he's already earned. Number one. Number two, he doesn't need to get any dirt on him. Any battles, smoke. Some people burn themselves alive just to get a little smoke on you. He needs to be above that fray. So the people that are saying that Trump could be Speaker of the House and then impeach Kamala and impeach Joe and then Trump comes in, why run around Robin Hood's barn? And while you're doing it, get a bunch of dirt on you and have half the country go, well, this is only because Trump is vindictive. Why do that? We don't have to. It's like General Flynn said. When somebody said, well, what's the military? You think the military is going to take over? This was a year and a half ago. He said no. And before he could finish his sentence, everybody started booing and moaning. He said, because we don't have to. In other words, they got this. Okay? RuPaul and Fauci. Well, you can see where we know people want Trump back. And I can see what you're saying, Georgia, but people want Trump back. And a year ago, I thought about that. I said, well, that's an idea. But now that we're in this situation, that is going to be, it's been a boxing ring with the Democrats in control. But they only had one fight to fight. That was get Trump, get Trump, get Trump. The impeachments, everything else, and they attacked all the people around him and his family members. But it was all around Trump. It's going to be a battlefield now because look at all the stuff that needs to be addressed. Okay? Hunter Biden laptop, Huma Abedin, and then you got Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and she had those guys from Lebanon working and had access to everybody's computers. Nobody knew about it. It can go on and on. Things a lot of us have forgotten. Once I get this device beefed up where I can put up pictures, I'm going to go down memory lane. And so I can just post stuff that a lot of us may have forgotten about that were in the spotlight over the last 2 years. And then I can go ahead and erase it out of there and make more room for stuff. But anyway, so with that in mind about a trapped rat, and right now they're, well, what are they going to do? You know, they have a short window of time where if they going to make a move, they're going to make a move, because after that time is over, they're vulnerable, very vulnerable. Now, that plays into something. What about a reverse of what happened J6? Mightn't they try something to delay a peaceful transfer of power? Has anybody thought about that? What if they come up with another, what? It's flu season, right? Come up with something. Plus, get this narrative going of people being violent. Now, that's the story about snipers being on the rooftops in Arizona. Very concerning. And hopefully, everybody will have their head on right and do what they're lawfully allowed to do and don't get themselves in trouble. Don't let themselves get suckered into position like so many people have that are in jail right now. You're talking about the two brothers from Lebanon that beat feet. And they left another laptop laying right. Philo's talking about two brothers that were with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, was it? I got to find out how to plug my phone in so my battery doesn't go dead. Fake alien invasion was in the playbook. But anyway, yeah, they were two brothers from Lebanon, and they got unprecedented access to members of Congress and their computers. And they were SPIES. Hey, there you are, Aaron. Ha ha. How you doing, buddy? The Godfather, buy me a coffee. Oh, by the way, folks, Aaron's the Godfather, buy me a coffee. This channel is viewer supported and creator supported only. I don't get anything from YouTube or anything like that. I got a buy me a coffee link, and I thank Aaron, and I thank Robin, and I thank somebody one and somebody two for showing their support for me. Yeah, I see that. Hello America, that's red. That's a Hello America channel. That's a fun channel. People can check that out. Even be interactive and be part of the channel. But Lauren Boebert, of all people, was looking like she might lose. Now she's in the lead. They're saying that is almost certainly going to be a runoff. Now, there's some fun and games down there. Everybody knows it. I'm glad you're doing great, Aaron. Debbie King says, just stay the course. Yeah, links in the description. Thank you, Ed. But anyway, this situation in Arizona with Kari Lake. Just about everybody I watched 3 different shows to get a pulse. That's Charlie Kirk, Styx Hexnammer, and the NPC show. And they're all pretty much saying the same thing, that the way the votes are trending, the outstanding votes, the ones that are personally delivered, weighing heavily toward Kari Lake. There's a Pima County. Now, I believe Pima County was Pima. was the county where the sheriff removed an election official during the primaries. Now, Pima County, Trump lost that county in Arizona, even though he won the state. Well, I'm sorry, 2016. Okay, but they said that he lost in 2020 Pima County by 20 points. Okay, then you have this business of somebody in Pima County being removed by the sheriff. I played the sheriff's statement in one of my videos where Mountain Man says that's what I said. They're saying that is looking like it's going to be reduced to about 15% for Kari Lake, but the bottom line is they think she's going to win 70,000 votes or more, anywhere from 70,000 to 170,000, but they're dragging it out, not so much about Kari Lake, but about Blake Masters. They're saying that's very close, and they see the scenario where he's going to be up by about 5,000 votes, Blake Masters. But that's the reason they're saying that the Arizona is being drug out, not because of Kari Lake. They feel that there's just too wide of a margin for them to cover, but they want, if they can, they want to focus on Blake Masters. And that's the Senate seat in Arizona. And the Senate is the key because the sole power of convicting someone of them and removing them from office for impeachment is with the Senate. The House can impeach, but the Senate is the only one that can try it. So they have to have 2/3 majority. I went over that. So they want to hang on to that, and they still got their work cut out for them in Georgia with this runoff with Herschel Walker and Warnock. Now, the good thing about that is it is going to distill. It's going to distill the election down to just those two. And that's going to be a heck of a lot easier to monitor. And I feel this process is a cleansing. It's a cleaning house. It's a identifying and rooting out people that need to be never in a position of public trust again. Not just the big fish. We need to get all those dirty little operatives, all those parts of the machine. Okay? A lot of you are of an age where you remember the Daley machine, Mayor Daley. That's when they first started using the term heavy-duty political machine. So the dirty political machine has been dismantled and scrapped in Florida. It's been taken to the junkyard. And as I said, generations of voters have always felt that Florida was a toss-up over and over and over again. It always changed hands by 1 or 2 points. And we know now that was a political shell game between the uniparty, namely Democrats and Republicans in the same suit, different bow tie. Okay? We know that was a shell game. Because when the machine was dismantled and taken to the scrapyard, and there were clean elections, established rules, a task force to monitor, DeSantis won by 20 points. So this is going to happen in Arizona. What happened in Florida? There's going to be a dismantling of a dirty, crooked machine that has entrenched itself in there, and there's no wonder, because who used to run Arizona, and we if you listen to certain intelligence sources, we don't say his name, but I say it, McStain. Okay, so the McStain family had been there for generations and built a machine. And this is the process. First of all, letting the air out of the tires, and then getting on there with some hammers, sledgehammers, wrenches, crowbars, and pull that thing to pieces. And that's what's going to happen. So anyway, let me see. I've been pontificating here. How you doing, Wolfpack? Patriot Starfire, how you doing, buddy? And hopefully Walker picks up Liebert votes. That's from Aaron. Yeah, the Libertarian that bowed out. Yeah, Libertarian is not going to, I've been watching Libertarian since, what was his name? Ralph Nader. Remember him? Yep, less complicated and more simple it'll be. Sugar the tank, flatten the tires. Wow, I said, we're going to do more than that. It's going in the crusher. Bobcat, it's going in the crusher. So the Libertarians, there was 2%. This is Georgia now. I'm going to jump over to Georgia. Herschel Walker, he is going to get most of the Libertarian vote, if not all of it. I don't know a Libertarian walking the face of the earth that's going to put up with somebody that's a communist. Libertarians are free spirits. They're live and let live. That's the last thing communism does. As a matter of fact, it's the leading cause of death in world history, okay, is communism. And I might make a meme about that. The leading cause of death, tyranny. Just checking the chats. Whoops. I got Patriot Starfire highlighted. I'm learning how to do this stuff here. I'm going to highlight follow too. Sugar the tank and flatten the tires. Whoops. Get back up there. There you go. Sugar the tank and flatten the tires. This is for now people that watch later on after the live stream. After the video's been up, I think 24 hours, you can hit the chat button and it will replay the chats. But for people that are just listening along, watching, I'm putting some comments up. I do that every now and then. I'm not able to really do that on the other service I use, but on the other service I put up my little videos and pictures and stuff like that. So and with this setup, I can't do that live yet, but I will. So anyway, so that is going to be. Part of me says that this thing is playing out in such a way to do two things. George is being dragged out, and I don't think that it has to be. I think if they wanted to, the White Hats wanted to, that would be settled. But they're dragging it out for two reasons. One, they want to make them work and expose themselves. The second and the biggest reason, they want to educate the public. The ones who didn't think this stuff was possible thought that people were election deniers and were not rational. are starting to see, hey, wait a minute, they got a point. And that's the same thing with Arizona. Herschel Walker is very well known all around the country and internationally. Kari Lake has made a name for herself, especially in the last 3 months or so of the campaigns, by her interviews and her no nonsense, slapping those reporters around. So the world is watching, and those are the two highest profile candidates of the entire election season. Dr. Oz is kind of, I'm not bashing Dr. Oz, but he's kind of a cold fish. He's not the kind of person to gain a lot of worldwide or nationwide interest. He's bland. A Mitt Romney kind of Mittens Romney cold fish. But Kari Lake has got charisma. Herschel Walker has got fame and a good personality, and he openly stands for Christ. That is the type of thing that gets national and worldwide attention, and those are the two races that are being drug out. Exposure, identification of bad actors, first thing. Second thing, educate the public. And then when people see that the formerly other side was right, that brings unity. Success brings unity, especially the way they're doing it. They're not having boots tromping in and rounding people up. We're doing it. We're the heroes, okay? We're winning together. And the people that were on the outside looking in didn't like the way things were going, but thought we were overreacting or believing in conspiracy theories. They're getting on board with us. We're being unified. We're the cavalry, okay? And that feeling, that is why it's so important for the mainstream media to blunt the enthusiasm for what happened during this election. 219 victories versus 17 losses is a tremendous victory. They want to blunt that feeling because they want to forestall a unifying movement. They want to blunt it. And you know the saying, nothing can stop it. Nothing can stop it. It's just getting, and the more they try, the more they drag it out, the more flimsy excuses they give. So many people that weren't shaking their heads 2 years ago are shaking their heads now. What in the world is going on in Arizona? And if you take a look at Pennsylvania, all you got to say is, okay, they elected a dead guy and they elected a brain dead guy. Okay? And now my thoughts on Fetterman. I think that was allowed. I think that was allowed because he's going to go into a Senate where his party has lost control. He's going to show up in the condition he's in, dressed like a bum, wearing a hoodie, and babbling. And they're going to have to sit there and look at their compatriots making a mockery of the body of the Senate. And they're going to make them sit in their own dung. Okay, it's like when a dog messes on the carpet, you rub his nose in it. They're going to make them sit and look at their mess. Look at the mess you made. That's your side of the aisle. And by the way, be quiet because we got control and you just sit there and look at your mess. And the world can sit there and look at that mess. So I think that's why the Fetterman thing went the way it did, and maybe one of the reasons why Oz conceded. So anyway, they can all look at their mess. Oh my, Debbie, thank you very much. Debbie says I'm doing great. Ha ha ha! If I had some sound effects, I could boing, hit a button and end of the 17 o'clock tomorrow. Oh, you're going to hear a lot of that stuff, Mike. A lot of that stuff. I'm gonna go over. I wanted to go on Nikki B's and do a dive on some posts, but Robert Stahl passed away, and me too. And I kept seeing GTSY, and I'd say, who? What's that mean? Gutsy? Who's Gutsy? And I figured it out. Good to see you. Whoops. Debbie said, "What's that mean? I haven't heard anything." There are a lot of people doing a lot of decoding. I don't want to make anybody mad at me. I appreciate all my listeners. I appreciate everybody who listens to my broadcast and watches my programs. But I think it's so ironic sometimes. I give these hints about how to get here. I like Mountain Man too. I'm going to go over there to a different channel because I like Mountain Man too. Get it? And people can't find it. They can't decode something that simple, but at the same time, some people, not anybody present, will act like they can figure out psyops at a quantum level, computer system level, and you ain't gonna do it. Yeah, that's right. Who knows what people are posting? Whoops. Oh, okay. I hit the button too long and put the post up there, but you didn't put the letter in, so that's all good. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. You are down with channel security. Oh my gosh. Here I gotta get this person off here before Red goes on this, clicks on this private photo. You know how Red is. Ha ha. There. Blocked. Gone. Ha ha. Red, are you still out there, or did you go to one of those sites that one of these trolls puts up here with all that girls kissing and stuff? House controls committees. That means Jake is poof. Yeah, House controls committees. That means Jason's committee goes poof. And that's right, if it hadn't already. 111 is a biblical number that is coming soon. I'll have to check that out. I'm just checking the chats, having a little bit of fun. Talking about running Fetterman for president. Well, maybe him and Joe can debate in a primary. Fetterman can primary Joe, and Joe and Fetterman can, and that'll be real exciting. Yeah, I'm gonna put that up. Put that up for history. Oz was a plant. And don't put, instead of spelling that whole word out, Debbie, just put SHEATED. Okay? That's a good way around it, right? They sheeted. Hi, Kate. Fetterman is Biden's replacement. I don't know about that. Bolshevik buddies hanging out before getting sounds like a dinner date in Washington. Yeah. Thank you, Wolfpack. We'll see about remember everybody got all pumped up about 11-3. Where did Red go? I did a video with Red on 11.3. Ha ha, Wanda, you got here. You can't remember dinner, much less a decode, but finally got it. All right, sweetie. So, so anyway, that's what we got. We got three. I know Laura Boebert. Got my fingers crossed for her. I think she's going to be all right. She's a girl that likes to be in the fight. You know that. So if there's a situation of, listen, we want to drag your race out, we're going to let them get away with stuff so we can expose people, she'd be down for it. Lauren Boebert. But the three highest profile races are what I just talked about. Okay? Herschel Walker, Fetterman, and Kari Lake. That's the stuff the average person on the street is going to be thinking about. Yeah, I saw that too, Aaron. I wrote down on a pad 11:36. That was about an hour ago, 11:36. But I think it's going to a runoff. It's going to a runoff. Let me see what kind of notes I wrote down here. Oh, everybody heard that they come out and said that if they can indict Trump, they will. I see what you said, Violet Bobcat. Yeah, there's documentation going on, making that list, checking it twice. There you go, Lori. It was Joe that cheated. There's a joke somebody told me many years ago about an Italian guy that went to a hotel room. He said, there was no sheet on the bed. I needed a sheet on the bed. I had a pillow, I had a blanket, but I didn't have no sheet. I called down to the hotel. The lady said, what do you need? I told her, I said, I want a sheet on the bed. She said, what? I said, I want a sheet on the bed. They threw me out of the hotel. So then I went to the dining room. I had sat down at the table. I had a plate. I had a spoon. I had a knife. But I didn't have any fork. I said to the waitress, hey, come here. She said, what do you need? I told her, I want a, you know what, on the table. Anyway, I'm not going to tell a joke. I got thrown out of there, too. That was my Italian joke from way back. So anybody's Italian out there, it's all good fun. My father used to say, mangia, mangia. And I learned my little bit of Italian. Don't worry about that from somewhere I won't say. But anyway, yeah, he cheated. Oh, Lori, that rat could have run away, could have attacked Putin sooner, but he didn't. He didn't until he got trapped in the stairwell, and that's where they're at right now. Oh, did I make somebody mad and leave the chats because I told my Italian joke about blankets and sheets on the bed? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll see. See if I made him mad enough to leave me. Let's see. No, they may. They may indict him. I'm not taking that out of the playbook. Yeah, Zelensky got an Oscar. Hi, Annette. How you doing, honey? But anyway, so that is what they made a public statement about, that they may have enough to indict him. Now, me and Red were talking about what happens if somebody dies going in the Senate. And okay, Aaron, I'll do that. What was that joke? Tomato walking down the street. Oh, I forgot that. Anyway, the tomato gets. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I heard that joke, ketchup joke, Aaron. I just can't think of it. You'll have to. You'll have to type it out for me. Ketchup. Yeah, that's a little. Instead of sheets and forks and knives and spoons. But anyway, yes, the Dems voted for a dead candidate. But anyway, if something happens to Fetterman, they could put his wife in. You know, the certain number of senators got to agree to it, and that might be the reason for this close difference, because they're going to let him do it. The white hats are going to let him do it, and we're going to go from what I described earlier to his wife. If he's incapacitated or passes away, his wife is also a communist, and a LESIB, whatever you spell that word, and she is got dual citizenship with Brazil. So wouldn't that be outrageous? And wouldn't that wake some people up? And I think the one senator might have been Claire McCaskill. I think her husband, and she's still in office. And she was on the news making fun of Trumpers and making the story that this was a flop of a red wave and all this kind of stuff too. And he died in a plane crash. I believe it was McCaskill. I know it started with an M. Yep, dual citizenship has got to go. What if something happens to Biden? Boy, that's going to be a sticky wicket, because Kamala has got her issues with eligibility. And I refer everybody back to Nixon and Agnew. They both got replaced by men in black suits. And we ended. I know some of y'all getting tired of hearing from me, but Nixon and Agnew was removed for a little peanut tax controversy over $10,000. He resigned, and then Nixon nominated Gerald Ford for the Senate to approve, which the Senate did. So we had Gerald Ford as vice president. When Nixon resigned, Ford became president. Then he nominated himself, Nelson Rockefeller, of the Rockefeller family. We all know about that stuff. And the Senate approved of Nelson Rockefeller. And the first time, I would say in American history, that we had a president and a vice president that had not been elected by the American people. Somebody's got another example when we did. I don't know it. I'd like to learn. I always like learning stuff. So they will be, as Putin said, picked by men in black suits. Who is going to replace Biden? I believe by the black hats is already known. We did good. We got the House and almost the Senate. We're going to get the Senate, I think, Karen, by about one vote. Because if something happens to Fetterman, I think they're going to allow this Brazilian woman to be installed as a senator, uh, and that is going to take 49 Democrats plus expose Mitt Romney and what's her name, Mikulski or whatever her name is, in Alaska. That's going to expose those two when they turn on. That's my thought. If something happened to Fetterman, it would be the perfect setup to expose those two senators, Romney and what is her name, out of Alaska. Anyway, that's going to put out in front of the world, in front of the American people, what a rhino really is. By the 18th birthday, Aaron says. Well, Aaron, I remember that early in Trump's political career, back in 2016, he got in a throwdown with that reporter for Telemundo, who is an American citizen and a Mexican citizen. And, you know, I know about Obama having dual citizenship with Indonesia, and that he was in a student exchange program for Harvard, the foreign exchange student. So you're saying to typically choose one at the 18th birthday, mostly for draft type. You say, oh, okay, for drafts. You had to make sure you don't get drafted. I don't think Indonesia would have drafted Obama. They wouldn't have wanted him. But I see what you're saying. You don't want to get drafted by Cameroon. Who was VP when JFK was gone, and who did he pick for vice president? Man, yeah, that would be a good. Who's VP was Johnson, and Johnson became president. A famous photograph of him taking the oath of office on Air Force One with Jackie Onassis standing next to him with JFK's blood still on her dress. That's who. Okay, Karen. McCarthy, I think McCarthy had to behave in certain ways to get people to trust him on the black cat side. I think he's been being employed to draw out bad actors. So I think McCarthy has appeared to have gotten in bed with the black hats, but that was mostly, I think, McCarthy to draw them out. Which Shane Newt Gingrich is campaigning for him. Newt is a rhino too. They stick together. Well, we'll keep an eye on it, because if they're bad actors, they're not going to make it, because this is thought out. This is going to happen. It's just how it happens. And the two biggest things are to remove the bad actors and educate the public. That's the two top priorities of this PSYOP, this military operation, and make sure it never happens again. So, anyway, I doubt there's been any announcements made. But Blake Masters is going to be very tight. And that's the reason they're dragging. They can't announce Kerry Lake as the winner. And they got to announce the whole state, everybody. Blake Master, Kerry Lake, all that stuff at once. So they're very close with Blake Master, and that's why they're hunting around looking for any way they could push his opponent over the line. And Kerry Lake, I believe, has already won. I don't think that's an issue anymore. Anyway. And I tell you what, if anybody wants to have a little fun with that letter we were talking about, number 17. If you, this is one of the things I wanted to do with Nikki. If you type in Senate was, just those two words, Senate was, and read that post. It's really one post, but there was some misspelling, so he reposted it and corrected the misspelling, because if they do actually make a misspelling that they didn't mean to, they will correct it, because they said misspellings mean things. So you'll see two posts, but put in there Senate was and read what the post says, but apply it to today's circumstances. Okay? Senate was. You'll see, I think, two posts, but it's really one. LWN had a great show tonight. Full info. Karen, yeah, I will. I caught over the scenarios. How we're going to get Trump in there is going to be according to the Constitution. According to the Constitution. And it's going to happen. And like I said, he can run for another term if he serves less than 2 years of a interregnum term. 111 is tomorrow. Okay, we're going to see about that. I'll check. Let me write that down and put a circle on, because I'm going to check it out. Everybody's been bringing that up. Let me take notes, because I don't put all my faith in this little plastic toy. 111. And I'm going to circle it. And I'm going to put a little slash in the circle, if you know what I mean. Ha ha ha. A little slash. They know they are done. And that's the yeah, I see that Major Starfighter 11.1. But that is why I put up danger ahead, because they're trapped rats, and that's when trapped rats attack, and they've got the power, okay, for a month and a half. I'm not sure exactly what day the House switches power. Is, I think, January 3rd. But that's when they're dangerous. Yeah, that's right. Dot the I's and cross the T's in the Constitution all the way. Well, there are different ways to get him back. And we just went over the and I'm looking at your post there, Karen. There's different ways to get him back. We just looked at this Speaker of the House thing, which was a popular notion. Did Dave Jose say anything about that? Yeah, Aaron, head on swivel for the next few months. Put that up there for history. The casual viewer needs to read that. If you see something, say something. Don't get involved, and don't get suckered into nothing. Karen, I was wondering if this Dave Jose character brought up, or person, I don't mean to say character, if he brought up the Speaker of the House business. That's what I'm asking. Because earlier I addressed that, and I can go over it again. But if it wasn't that, if it's something else, oh, okay, Wanda. Wanda said no, he didn't. Dave knows his stuff. Dave Jose. Okay, good. Well, I tell you, a lot of them do. I haven't listened to this guy, and the what's his name, Derek Johnson. He is telling things that are true. Stuff many of us have talked about in the past. It's just they got a different delivery style. But he's brought up all the executive orders, the Stafford Act, the actions that have been taken, the way the inauguration went, all that stuff's all well and good. And if people stick to the Constitution, stick to actual events like these gentlemen I'm talking about, that's great. I'm down with that. Educating people. I'm just looking at the chat. Sometimes hard to get his ideas out. Yeah, got to be careful what you say, because here one day, gone the next with this system they have built. And speaking of that, this is one note I made and never got into. This, let's see, it's Partner Support Portal. They're talking about a partner support portal. You'll hear about that. And very quickly, what that is something they discovered with the government, the black hats, and everybody knows the letter starts with a C and ends with A, has I in the middle. They had a partner support portal tied in between Harvard University and the British government, supposedly to foster accurate information on the internet. That's code speak for coordinating censorship. So remember that. We may hear about that in future hearings or prosecutions. Oh, CPS is we're finding out a lot more about that. Let me tell you, this House of Representatives have got so much stuff that they have not only the power to go into and look at, but a duty. And one of them is that group that Aaron and Philo are talking about. Not all of them. You know, you can have a local little podunk county that's got a good protective service, I'll say it that way. But in some of these big cities, it's an actual criminal enterprise, and that's going to come out. So anyway, folks, the media narrative is to blunt our enthusiasm and reduce chatter about this election, because the more people talk, make new friends, feel that they've won, feel like they understand the direction things are going in, it unifies us. So they're trying to blunt our unity, they're trying to blunt our enthusiasm, but be enthusiastic, be happy, because they got a smack in the chops, and they are in a very bad situation in the Senate. And with that character coming in there and losing complete power in the Senate. In the House, they're looking at suffering the same kind of investigations, subpoenas, and contempt charges that they've been throwing out. They're looking at themselves. Did you see Donald Trump? He put out a truth about the Nevada races and California races and people dragging them out. And he said, be careful, Adam. He talked about Adam Schiff. So that's another reason Trump ain't going to be Speaker of the House, because these people need to be gone after, and nobody wants it to appear like a personal vendetta. Okay, so I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I wasn't going to do a live stream, and I decided to go ahead and do it. But I tell you one thing, how you know everything is going the way it's supposed to go, and a lot of people are getting worried. Stacey Abrams and Beto O'Rourke, two of the so-called rising stars, the future of the party. Many people have said Beto O'Rourke and Stacey Abrams, they both got smacked flat. And this is the first time I've ever heard of Stacey Abrams conceding and just leaving the stage. Goodbye. But there was no doubt about that. And no glory, no nothing. So there goes two of their rising stars. And they're left with the Fetterman star. Okay? So y'all have a great night, folks. I appreciate you tuning in and being with me. And please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And my the other place I do live streams is this other guy, Mountain Man. He's Mountain Man Says. So if you want to pay attention to the channel, that'd be great. And y'all have a good evening. And I will be talking to you soon.